Hello there, I'm Lady Loy and I'm on Lovers Rock Radio every Friday, 7 till 9, where I play nostalgic music. And you can catch up on www.mixcloud.com/lady-loy or on Gold Standard Radio on a Saturday. We're on my roller coaster show, and you can catch up on www.gold standard radio. Now, what I'm going to share with you today are excerpts from my book that I'm writing called Everything You Wanted to Know About Blackness But Was Afraid to Ask. Now, this particular excerpt is based on when a woman sees a vulnerable black man and wants to help but knows that she's got to preserve herself. So let's dive into this one. I've called it She Sees, She Cares, but Self-Preservation is a Must. You watch him sometimes, the way he moves through the world, shoulders braced, eyes alert, holding himself steady against pressures no one sees. You notice the weight he carries, the quiet tremors of exhaustion that never fully fade, the vulnerability he rarely allows anyone to touch. And you care. You care deeply. Not because it's your duty, not because you are responsible for fixing everything, but because you recognize the human being beneath the armour, the person whose life matters and whose struggles are real. And yet, even as you care, you know you cannot be the structure that compensates for it all. You feel it in your chest, the temptation to step in, to hold, to steady, to make the world right, but you hold back. To take on all that weight would be to lose yourself, to let your own life dissolve into a role that is neither fair nor sustainable. You can witness his vulnerability, you can honour it, stand alongside it, but you cannot absorb it as your own. That distinction, though subtle, is sacred. You offer empathy without taking over. You offer validation without repairing. You listen when he speaks. You notice the unspoken fears, the frustrations, the sense of invisibility. And you respond with presence, not solutions. I see you. I hear you. I am here with you. But I cannot take this all into myself. You remind yourself that. Because love is not the same as self-erasure. Love is a choice. And in choosing wisely, you preserve both your own life and the integrity of your care. You give tools, not crutches. You suggest communities, you suggest mentors or practices that can help him find strength. You celebrate his victories, small and large, and all that he earns on his own. You honour his autonomy, understanding that independence is not rejection, and self-sufficiency is not distance. Because you know that much of what he carries is not personal, it's structural. It is the burden of a world built with inequities and pressures that touch him daily. You cannot undo centuries of history or shield him from society's blows. To think you could would be an illusion of care. Instead, you practice a care that is honest, sustainable, and human. A care that strengthens rather than consumes. You balance presence with boundaries. You step in when you can. You step back when you must. You preserve your own energy, your own clarity, so that your love is meaningful and not depleting. You recognize that real care is measured not by sacrifice alone, but by attention, integrity, and respect for both lives in the relationship. And you understand the fear of erasure, the sense that if someone doesn't act, if someone doesn't notice, something might vanish. It's why the impulse to overcompensate is so strong, why guilt can creep in, why you sometimes feel like you should carry more than is yours. But you see clearly now, presence without collapse, attention without absorption, love without total scaffolding. This is the path forward. You allow space for him to stand. You allow space for him to grow. You allow space for the connection to breathe without carrying the full weight of the world. You hold your care like a steady flame, visible, warm, unwavering, but it does not consume the air around it. In this way, you can care deeply without losing yourself. You can witness vulnerability without becoming responsible for it. You can love fully, fiercely, tenderly, without being the structure that holds everything together. And in this careful, conscious presence, you discover a new strength. The strength to remain whole while caring. To be generous without being erased. To love without collapsing. It is a strength that honours both your humanity and his. A strength that allows love to last, not because it's all-consuming, but because it is wisely, fully, and gently given. And I hope you can relate to that. It's really about the people. I mean, this is about women with men, but men, it can just work the same way, vice versa, for men who tend to overcompensate when they're with women. It's about keeping yourself intact. It's about caring for someone, hearing their struggles, knowing what they're going through, and not trying to carry it for them. That's what this is really about. It's about keeping yourself as an individual intact so that you don't feel burdened and you're not overwhelmed and you're not burnt out because you've taken on more than you can manage. We all have our, what do they call it? We all have our cross to bear. And we all have, our issues and our challenges and our whatever it is that we have, that we carry. And we have enough for ourselves. And we can support our partners, loved ones, friends. But we have to know how much we take on. And we have to be careful, especially as women, not to become mothers, not to let that maternal part of us take over, and that we actually take on more. And by taking on more, we become more stressed and we become incapable. We just burn out and become resentful in the end. And so this is about managing. It's about teaching a man to fish instead of giving him the fish. It's about teaching a man how to stand firm and respect his boundaries and respect himself and keep himself whole, even though he's struggling with societal pressures, systematic failures, and stuff like that. So, I'm going to leave it there. I hope it's helpful for some people. It may or it may not, but I hope some people can relate to it. If you can relate to it, I would appreciate your comments, because otherwise I feel as though I'm talking into the wind. And that's all for now. You take care.